Hi, how are you today? So recently I was asked a question about tea, and that question was, can tea keep you well? Which is kind of a loaded question. But on the other hand, the short answer is yes. If you partake regularly, and one of the teas that I'm really fond of is one of my own blends, and it's the Lovely Lemon Immunity. And the Lovely Lemon Immunity has a lot of herbs in it that actually do help boost your immune system. But there's a little bit more to this than just boosting the immune system. So, one of the things that I've noticed recently, and I'm not excluded from this, is that people are under quite a bit of stress. And stress is one of those things that breaks down your body and makes you more susceptible to various illnesses, from things like colds and flu to things that are more serious. The longer you stay in stress mode, the more serious the illnesses can be. So it's really important to take some time out. And I love taking time out for a little cup of tea, morning, afternoon, or evening. To me, it's just relaxing. Takes the stress down, the heart rate drops. It gives my brain a little rest. I try not to do too much thinking while I'm sipping my tea. And if you notice, I'm drinking out of a really sweet, elegant teacup and saucer today. And picking out something special to use for your afternoon tea might be fun and give you a little more pleasure. I like to light a candle often, sip out of a lovely cup, and sometimes I read a book. And right now, I'm reading The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. And one of the things, and I've read this before, this isn't my first time around. If you notice, there's little tabs here. So towards the end of the book, there's a paragraph that struck me. And I think I'm just going to read it to you today while I'm sipping my tea. And this is on page 164. If you happen to have the book and you want to pick it up and read along with me, or if you want to take a look at it later, this is an excellent um, paragraph, and it gives me hope. And I think that sometimes we need to immerse ourselves in activities and thought processes that make us feel happier, better. And this is one of those. So the suggestion here, just to give you a little fore information. So he's talking a little bit about the interaction that corresponds with the concept of science and karma and spirituality. And this is a description of how he became a scientist that's also practicing spiritualism. When a beam of light goes through a prism, the prism's crystalline structure refracts the exiting light so that it appears as a rainbow spectrum. Each color, though a component of white light, is seen separately because of its unique frequency. If you reverse this process by projecting a rainbow spectrum through the crystal, the individual frequencies will recombine, forming a beam of white light. Think of each human being's identity as an individual color frequency within the rainbow spectrum. If we arbitrarily eliminate a specific frequency, a color, because we don't like it, then try to put the remaining frequencies back through the prism, the exiting beam will no longer be white light. By definition, white light is composed of all of the frequencies. So then it goes on to say, many spiritual people anticipate the return of white light to the planet. I'm going to take a little sip. Think about that for a second. They imagine that it will come in the form of a unique individual like Buddha, Jesus, or Muhammad. However, from my newly acquired spirituality, I see that white light will only return to the planet when every human being recognizes every other human being as an individual frequency of the white light. As long as we keep eliminating or devaluing other human beings we have decided that we don't like, i.e., destroying frequencies of the spectrum, we will not be able to experience the white light. Our job is to protect and nurture each human frequency so that the white light can return. So I've read that several times, and I find that so reassuring. And the reason I wanted to read it to you is because my hope is that those out there that hear that will share that and take refuge in the idea that if we protect each other as human beings, if we cherish each other as human beings, regardless of whether or not we belong to that tribe or that organization, but that every spectrum of human life is important. Now, I'm not leaving out the animals and Mother Earth because they're not important. What I'm talking about here is the fact that as human beings, we are damaging the full spectrum of light. And in order for the white light to return, we have to begin to understand that we have to come together. We have to be, we have to make friends with that idea. And it's sort of like the tea ceremony in a way. So perhaps there's someone in your life that you're uncomfortable with. Well, maybe look deeper. The tea ceremony consists of 3 cups. So the first cup is getting acquainted, and the second cup is making friends, and the third cup is being the lover. And you'll probably hear me describe this many times if you follow this channel. But the 3 cups is a guide. The tea ceremony is actually a guide. This activity of sipping tea ceremonially is a guide. Because if we take the time to get acquainted, and you know what I mean, go deeper, find out, be curious, get acquainted with your neighbors, with the people that you work with, maybe get more acquainted with people that you disagree with. And then try to find a way to make friends. Now, I'm not saying that, if there's somebody out there that feels like they are a danger to you, that you need to hang out with them. That's not really what I'm talking about here. What I'm really talking about here is getting a sense of acknowledgement and understanding that people come from all different situations. And perhaps making friends means just making friends in your heart, with the idea that perhaps the reason this person is behaving this way is because they've had something terrible in their life damage them. We've all had instances in our life that become experiences that hurt our heart. Everyone has that happen to them at one time or another. And to acknowledge that is to be the friend, is to make friends with that. And then to go deeper into that and be the lover is to understand that we are all part of the spectrum. And the healing will come when all of the spectrum can be pushed back through the prism and white light comes out on the other side. And when that happens, well, I just think that there's going to be less turmoil in the world, and thus we maybe can heal the planet. Who knows where to go? I really do care how you are. And so if you're interested in leaving a comment, please do like the video and share the video if it's something that you'd like to do. And, if you haven't read it, pick up a copy of The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. I think you'll enjoy it. I learned so much from this book, and I continue to learn from it because I keep reading it over and over. Anyway, I'm enjoying my afternoon tea, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Because now that I've had my tea and I've visited with you, I know I'm going to. Blessings to you all, and thank you for watching.